Ignition sequence start. 6, 5.
It's one small step for man.
2, 1.
Everything is go here.
Welcome to Stay Relevant, my wandering conversations with interesting people. I'm Mike Savola.
Hey, this is Houston. We're copying.
The Eagle has landed.
My guest today is Aimee Schlectman, wardrobe, prop stylist, and art director for film and television. Thanks for joining me, Aimee.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You've been doing this for a while. How would you describe your role in a production, if you're describing your job?
My role is to kind of carry over the director's or slash writer's vision, and to take it a few steps where they kind of stop, only because they're so focused on the writing and the character. Then I want to think about the clothes and the jewelry, and what else is going to make this character textured and more livable. What else can I add to this character to make it more have those words just come right off the page?
And you know what? And that's a good point. You say you take it a step further, but I find that sometimes, or a lot of times, prop stylists and wardrobe person is an afterthought, or it's not in the budget or something, and it's relegated to whoever, and it doesn't allow the director to focus.
It doesn't translate, and what happens is that the character gets kind of cut short, or or deprived of that extra extension of what it should be, because a PA who's just grabbing some shirts, or some producer who's just, it's an afterthought. Oh, he needs something else to wear. They're not into it. They're not thinking about it, and it's not their passion. As opposed to when you hire someone to do the wardrobe or the props, or even to make sure that the set deck looks authentic. That's why you have these people on set, so they can make it look as visually pleasing as they can.
And do you think you specifically bring other things to the job personally, or?
Well, it's funny, because when I was in New York, it was just the departments were very segregated. It was if you did wardrobe, that was just what you did. If you did the art department, it was art. Props. Here, it was kind of a crossover. So not only do I do the wardrobe, I do the props, and it's kind of commingled now.
And do you?
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. No. I guess your background. You came from New York, so you have a visual background. Well, let's go into that a little bit.
Okay.
This is kind of your second career. Right?
Well, I have a degree in fashion design. I did study fashion design at Syracuse University. It's my senior year, we had a fashion show. I had pieces in, and it was great and amazing, all that. And then you go out into the real world of the fashion industry, and it's very depressing, because the only people I think that are very creative are the people that are doing couture. And that's about 10% of the population, or less, 5% buy couture. Everyone else is buying ready to wear. And I found that the fashion industry was driven by the sales force in the mid-market, because they would go into the big chains and they would tell the designer, okay, this silhouette is selling. Let's knock it off. Let's copy it, and let's get this fabric because this is hot, and this is what they're buying over here at Saks. And when you're middle, everything comes trickling down. So they would tell the designer, this is the body we want you to use. This is the fabric to make 20 pieces. And it wasn't creative at all. Maybe you could pick a button, but then when it came to manufacturing, the button that you picked was too expensive, so now you have to get a cheaper version. So any creativity was obsolete. It just wasn't, you weren't allowed, because everything was budget conscious.
Wow. So you decided to look, and how did you get into this?
So after that, I jumped over to corporate America, where the money was great, but it was super boring. And I did it for a few years. I said, this stinks. And when I was at the last boring job, I said, you know what, let me pursue my dreams. And I started taking classes at FIT, and I was around very creative people, and I took a styling class. And I said, wow, that sounds amazing, to grab clothes and work with makeup artists and hairstylists and models, and to make these images come to life. And then I realized that kind of styling for magazines is thrilling. And I answered an ad for an intern on a feature film. And that's where I got my first taste of seeing how a film works, seeing what the costume designer does, the wardrobe supervisor, the wardrobe assistants. And I said, this is it. I'm hooked. I love it. I love this. This is amazing.
Fast forward, you're here in DC, but did you have a fallback plan? So I'm just going to do that. So you decided to jump into it.
I jumped into it. I was lucky because I was with my boyfriend, who's now my husband, and he was supporting us, and that's the only way I could do it because I was interning on films with students for the NYU kids, the Columbia kids, all their thesis. They all said, okay, we need a wardrobe person. We'll pay you nothing, but you can be as creative as you want. I learned my way fast because I was older than most of my peers who were 20, 21, and I knew what I wanted. I wasn't just thrown into this for school and this is my thesis. I came back and I said, this is where I want to be. And then from there, I started to do some paid work, but it was still very little. And then I had my kids, so that was kind of not a setback, but career-wise, I kind of put everything on hold because no one wants to hire a pregnant woman and give you no insurance and work on set. So I took a break, and then we moved here to DC, and I'm kind of had to reintroduce myself.
Tell me, do you find anything in your background has helped you in your job? I mean, your creativity, maybe your fashion background, or?
Definitely. I mean, being able to look at clothes and knowing when I have to cut something, or very fast if you're on set and something doesn't fit. Okay, how to cut it, let's repin it, let's hem it, I have the basics. I can sew, if a button's missing, that's not a problem, which is great because these things do happen. There are spills on set with wardrobe. There's all sorts of things that can come up, and especially when you're not dealing with bigger budgets and you have to be able to do it fast because you have a director or a DP or producer looking at you, and if you're holding up that camera, you better be able to do it real fast.
And you say a lot of times you'll do the director will give you a script.
Yeah.
Do you do the breakdowns yourself most of the time, or how does it work?
Absolutely. I jumped in on a project and they had a breakdown, and I knew that I couldn't just take someone's breakdown because I had to read the script. I had to do my own breakdown, and I do it my own way. I made it up, or maybe other people do, with the characters and how many scenes and how many days, because I need to know what's going to happen. And then you also have to realize that when they shoot out a sequence, you have to make sure that you have each wardrobe accounted for and have it all laid out, and with your jewelry, with your accessories, just to know what's going to come up. You need to know, okay, this is what's happening. You absolutely need to do the breakdown.
How do you stay current?
I put out the feelers. I'm heavy into LinkedIn. I look on Maryland, the website, to see what's filming in Maryland, what's filming in DC, what's filming in Baltimore. Read the castings, because anytime they're going to cast, I can't say anytime, but if they're going to use actors, there is a chance they might need wardrobe and props. So I keep up to date with that. It's just going back to the people I know, the grips. People that I know that are always going to get hired, regardless if there's a budget, because you need grips, you need producers, you need PAs. So those people, even though they may not be so much in the know of the wardrobe, at least they tell me, oh, I'm working on this. Or my new thing now is going back to all the actors I've worked with and say, which production companies have you worked with? Because if they're using actors, maybe there's a chance they'll need wardrobe and producers. So I'm reintroducing or just introducing myself to a whole bunch of new production companies that I got from a fresh set of actors I just did a great big commercial with.
So the social media aspect is big, and you're into that.
I have to say, LinkedIn has really been very good to me. I'm on it every day. Not only do I take my connections, I write them personal letters, I introduce myself, I send them my work if they want to see it, but I make sure that I'm on LinkedIn. As much as I can find here, I try to, get out the information or just see what's happening. What are they filming? Oh, they're doing a PSA. Are they going to need wardrobe? And even if they don't, even if I don't know, find out who the producer is, because on these sites, especially in Washington, they'll say filming here on K Street. They'll give you the producer's name. So from that, you can follow up.
What do you feel? Do any of these organizations add? What do you think they add to your ability to get work and things? Is it mainly networking? A lot of networking. Do you go to do you do any of the social?
I should do more than I am doing. I do keep in touch with certain people when I think you're on a set and you just click with certain people. It's easier to follow up with people you like or you've had a connection with. So I find it hard sometimes to have worked with someone and it was a nice day. You had a great working experience, but then they don't all. I always think, they're always going to think of me next time they're going to need this, or I'm sure I'm on their radar. I'm not, and I have to remind myself. I have to, send emails. I have to send links of updated work. I had a screening of this great short I did over the summer, and the director. It was with. Can I say the name?
Yeah, sure.
It was Travesty Films. It was Jason Baston, and he's great promoter, and he rented out the AFI in Silver Spring, and he had the short, and it was amazing. The turnout was unbelievable. And the short, the trailer, just the clip, the teaser, he had on the website, and I had it, and I sent it to everyone I know, saying, can you come to the premiere? Regardless if they came or not, it was another reason for me to send my name, show them my work, and you're hoping, okay, if you do it enough, they'll remember you.
Right, it's a lot easier these days too with
Yes.
All these outlets, and also the fact that everybody's on all the time and they have their tablets.
Everyone
and
is
things.
constantly on. I mean, from LinkedIn, it was snow days the last few days for everyone. So I was like, all right, this is a great chance for me just to get onto LinkedIn and just to connect. And then when people do say, oh, I'll accept that, then I follow up, as I mentioned, with a personalized email introducing myself. And I don't always send my resume because I feel that may be overkill, because I don't know how much they really want, how much information they want at the time. But I would say I got a few jobs from people saying, oh, you sent me something. I held on to that information, and then when I needed a props or a wardrobe person, I remembered you and I called you. So that sometimes pays off.
Do you feel like your experience in New York holds any weight here in terms of cachet?
I thought the waters would part. I thought all I would have to say is I'm from New York, boom, and but not so.
No.
And that's okay. But because now that I look at my body of work, half of my stuff now has been DC based.
Oh, wow.
And because I've done more shorts and industrials and commercials, I've done more of that. I did bigger stuff in New York, features and shorts, but there's faster stuff here. The turnover, you work on a commercial, boom, that's on your resume. You worked on an industrial, boom. So, but no, the New York thing, I thought, does not. I don't think they care. I'm the only one that cares.
You don't like New York down here, right?
I think
That'd be a lesson to you. No.
I don't think they're that impressed. I thought they would be, but not so. Not so.
Do you have a favorite project that you've worked on?
Oh.
Or in general, are there projects that you like better than others?
I worked on a TV series 2 years ago, and it was aired on Discovery ID, and even though it was grueling work hours, it was steady for 4 months. I was a freelancer, but I was under contract. I had an office. I worked with the same people, and that was great because you're on a show. You know who the players are. In each new episode, we had different actors, so we had different characters that we worked with. But that part I loved because it was like a job. It was like a real, not 9 to 5 because those aren't film hours, but Monday through Saturday, I had a place to go. And it's very family. You feel like you're with family after a while. When you're working with someone for so many hours every day, you feel very close. And and we got into a nice mix, nice synergy. And that I loved.
And I'm thinking you get to know their rhythms and
and you get to know, okay, the hairstylist is going to do this, and the grip guys, and it's really nice. You're comfortable, and you know who's capable of what. You know who you can count on, who can help you out, who you can help, and just the familiarity. It was great, and I loved that part.
If somebody were trying to break in or change careers sort of like you did,
Yeah.
what would you tell them? What would be your advice?
I would say you're going to have to start off not getting paid. Know that right now. I would go with the biggest production house or DP or anyone that will just let you be by their side. Go, learn, do as much as you can, be as available as you can, and make sure you love it, because these are long days, long hours, and people that are doing this job, usually really there's a passion inside, and they're really driven because they want to be creative. They love it. Most people you ask on a film set love being there. I mean, the days are just too long for you not to really enjoy yourself. And unless you're really in it for a while, the pay doesn't pick up for a long time. Like, you have to really be happy that you're doing this and being creative and get to make some movie magic.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us, Aimee. We appreciate
Thank you.
it. My guest today has been Aimee Schlectman, wardrobe, prop stylist, and art director for film and television. Her work can be seen on upcoming episodes of American Titans produced by Discovery Studios. She art directed 2 episodes, August 25th at 10/9 Central and September 1st at 10/9 Central. The podcast is Stay Relevant, wandering conversations with interesting people. Original music by Popmark Media on the web at popmarkmedia.com. See and hear more on my website at mikesabola.com. Until next time, try and stay relevant.